Star Music, Star Variety.
Star!
102.5.
Star 2.5 is today's best variety with Big Ken and Colleen in the morning. I'm Karess Carter in the Star Studio with special guest Eric Hutchinson. Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm great. We haven't seen you since, I think it was November you were in town.
Sounds about right, yeah.
And it was cold and...
I was thinking of that as I walked in the studio actually last time.
It's completely different.
I was bundled up, yeah.
And you had been trying to stay healthy, trying to stay away from a cold at that point in time.
Yeah, that sounds about all of last year, actually.
Well, it's nice to have you back in Des Moines, and I'm so excited that you're kicking off Nitefall on the River.
I am very excited, I'm not going to lie.
Do you like playing outdoor amphitheaters?
I love it, actually, yeah. And that stuff's really fun, so I think tonight's going to be a good time.
This is a series that is like my baby. I mean, I wait every year for Nitefall on the River to kick off. This year it's presented by Financial Plus Credit Union. It's at Simon Estes Amphitheater. It's such a great venue.
Very cool.
And a lot of our listeners are going to come down with their blankets, just chill out. It's a family event, and
yeah,
it's just going to be a great night.
And I'm honored to be kicking it off, too.
Well, we're honored to have you back. Now, for those of our Star listeners who know who you are, know your music, may not know exactly the story behind, I don't want to say how you got discovered, but long story short, you were signed on a major label.
Right. I was signed to Maverick Records, which was Madonna's label. And then I got dropped before the whole label actually folded before I even got to make the album. And then I went off and made the album myself, and Perez Hilton got a hold of the music and put it up on his website, on his blog, and it just started really blowing up, getting a lot of attention, and a couple of labels came after, and I ended up signing with Warner Brothers, who were the ones that actually had just dropped me because they owned Madonna's label. So it was an interesting full circle kind of thing.
But in that time period, you actually still went ahead and were able to make the album that you wanted to make.
Yeah. And that was it was really fun, and that's the album that's out now. It's called Sounds Like This, and that was a big thing for me when the labels kind of came back was, listen, I made this album the way I wanted to, and I want to put it out the same way, so I feel proud of that.
So, the power of the internet. Perez Hilton puts something online, and all of a sudden, you've got people who have finally discovered your music. It's just kind of I guess, a positive to the internet spin where a lot of people were thinking it was going to kill the music industry. But here for you, and help get you back in the spotlight.
For sure. I mean, I think it just speeds everything up. Now when you hear about music, you can look it up immediately, whereas before I had to be like, oh, I'll make a note next time I'm in a record store. I'll ask the guy there who won't know what I'm talking about. And now it's like look it up on YouTube or iTunes immediately.
Easy to find now.
Yeah.
So once you get, signed again with Warner Brothers, there was some discussion about getting you noticed again, so this infomercial came about that I've seen on VH1. It still makes me laugh.
Well, thank you. Yeah, there was, it was just, Warner Brothers was saying, well, we need some ideas, we need some things to get out there, and so I was kind of, I like watching late night infomercials, because they're so hypnotic, and especially the long ones that go for a half hour, and they're repeating the same information, but you can't figure out when they started repeating it again.
Soft rock of the 80s.
Yeah, that's one of the best ones. The Time Life ones. I was watching the one last night with Tony Orlando. It's like Smooth 70s or something like that. So I thought it'd be fun to do one for my album. We kind of, turned up the cheese factor a little bit there, and it was fun to do.
Star 102.5.